Hey there guys, last week I taught you basic 1-point perspective and how to lay that out. So this is our exercise we should have already completed. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to introduce you to overlapping using 1-point perspective. So I've drawn a line across my paper and I'm going to use the bottom half. If you don't have this paper anymore, you can get a different paper to work on. You don't have to draw a line to divide them. I just did that for myself and for you to be able to see the new section. So I've already done a quick example on my paper where I have some overlapping boxes or cubes using 1-point perspective, and I'm going to walk you through this on the other side of my paper. So you're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and a ruler or straight edge. So remember, if you don't have a ruler, you can use anything that has a straight edge that's nice and firm. So you wouldn't want to use a floppy piece of paper, but you could use a bookmark or the side of a book, anything that's a little bit harder and won't move around much. The other thing you can do, which is a really cool trick I picked up on the internet, is if you happen to have Legos or Duplos or other toys laying around your house, you could use anything that's a square or a rectangle to help you set these up. Okay, so I'll show you what this looks like with a ruler, and then I'll also use some of these as well today. So the first thing I did was I set up my horizon line and my vanishing point. Remember, we're only going to be using one vanishing point, and you should already know how to set that up. Okay, so you're using your ruler, you draw your horizon line, you add one vanishing point. So now I'm going to come in and I am going to add a cube or a box that's going to be, let's have it actually touch the horizon line. Okay, so we can practice. Those ones are often pretty confusing, so let's take a look at these again. All right, so I've put my two sides in. I'm going to close off the top to make a square. And now my next step is going to be my orthogonal lines. So those are the lines that converge at the vanishing point. So I'm going to go in from the top corner, because we always work from the four corners of the boxes, and I'm going to connect. Okay, so here's where this gets tricky, which is why I wanted to bring this up. I already have my converging or orthogonal line here. Okay, because this box was set up on the horizon line actually does the work for us here. So if we look here and we line this up, it's already there. Okay, so the next thing we would do is we would check the next corner. So if I were to draw, I'll show you very, very lightly, a line from here to here, I wouldn't actually see that in the finished box. So normally what I do is I check with my ruler or my straight edge to see, am I going to see that line? If I'm not going to see that line, I don't include it. It just makes more work for me later on. So the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to put in my vertical parallel side between my two orthogonal or converging lines. So right here, I am going to draw a side. Okay, this cube is done. Because of where it was located on the horizon line, we're not actually going to see the top or bottom of this box. So let's look at a couple different types now. All right, we're going to set this up so that this box or cube overlaps with the one we just drew. So that means I am going to go in here and I am going to overlap it with that box. Okay, that means I'm going to draw it on top. So let's look at what this looks like when we use the Lego as our pattern. So again, I'm just using this as a pattern, holding it in place, pressing firmly down so it's not scooting around, and tracing around all the sides with my pencil. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I am again going to connect my four corners to the vanishing point. So I'm going to draw these lightly so that I can erase easily. I can always go back in and make things darker. So I'm going to check for here. Yep, I'm going to connect that because I would definitely see that side of the box. And then I'm going to go from here. Okay, so let's check with our ruler. Would we actually see this line? No, we wouldn't in our finished box, so we're not going to include it. Let's check this one. Go from the top corner to here. Would we actually see this line? Nope, so I'm not gonna draw it, okay? So save yourself some work of erasing and having to put things in that you're not actually gonna see. So I'm just gonna take that out. All right, next I'm gonna put in my side. Now here's a tip to make it easier for you. If you line this up with a vertical line that's already there, it's gonna be more confusing for you. So I always tell students to adjust the vertical line for their side so that it is not lining up with any other vertical lines on the page. So I'm gonna extend it here and put my side in because it wouldn't connect with any other vertical lines. Okay. So I can go in and erase those orthogonal lines. I no longer need them. So those are going to go away first because I'm done drawing those. Next, I have to decide which cube I want on top. So let's say I want this one to be on top of this one. Then what I'm going to do is come in here with my eraser and erase the lines from the large box so that the small box appears to be on top. Okay, I'm also going to go in and erase my horizon line because we wouldn't see it through the cube or the box. All right, so we have two boxes that are overlapped using 1-point perspective. So let me just darken this up a little bit so that you can see it just a little bit better on here. Okay, so we've got that. Now we're going to do another one. We'll do this one above the horizon line and we'll see what this one's going to look like. I will put it right here. It's overlapping with this box. I'm tracing around each side. Again, you can use your ruler, but I just wanted to show you this in case you're really picky about your squares. Okay. So next, of course, I'm going to connect my 4 corners to my vanishing point. So I'll lay this out, draw my orthogonal lines very lightly. Let's check this corner. Do I need it? Absolutely. So I'm going to draw it lightly. Let's check down here. Oh, we do need it this time, so we're going to put it in. Okay, and then let's check up here. Would we actually see that line in the box? No, so we don't have to put it in, okay? So see how we're just saving ourselves some work by checking in advance. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to put a vertical parallel side in. So again, I would not line it up with a vertical line that's already on the page. So I'm gonna find a spot where I don't have any overlapping and I'm gonna put the side in. Okay. Now, remember, because we would actually see the bottom of this box, we do have to put the bottom in. So I'm going to keep my ruler straight and I am going to cross this over. Okay. All right, so we've got our finished cube. We'll go in and erase our orthogonal lines that converge at the vanishing point. So I'm pulling all these lines that I no longer need out. So I always do one box at a time because if I go and do more than one, it gets pretty confusing with all the lines. And then I've got to decide which cube I want on top. Do I want this one to be in the front or do I want this one? I've decided because I did all this work and I have the bottom here, I'm going to make this one on top. So that means I'm going to come in here and pull out the lines from the other box. Okay, and then again, I like to go back in once I finished it and just go back over those lines, especially if maybe a little bit got erased. If you're using a big eraser like I am, sometimes we erase more than we actually want. So I'm just going to go back in and put in any of those lines that got erased, again using a ruler so that my presentation is nice and neat. If I do it freehand, I'm probably not going to have very straight lines and my boxes probably won't look super nice. Okay, let's do one last box. We'll do it below the horizon line this time and we'll overlap it. Let's say we'll have it overlap right here. okay? Just to give you a variation so that you can see, actually, let's do it right here on what these different boxes in different places look like. Okay, so I am going to trace around that. And of course, we know the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our orthogonal lines. So I'm checking from each corner to see, would I need that? Remember, all boxes below the horizon line, you'll see the top. All boxes above the horizon line, you'll see the bottom, okay? So I'm lining this up. I wouldn't actually see that orthogonal line, so I'm not gonna put it in. All right, my next step is to put in my side. Again, make sure it doesn't line up with any other vertical lines that are already there. Put in our parallel vertical side. From this point, we're gonna line our ruler up straight across and put the top in of our cube or our box. I'm going to erase my orthogonal lines that I no longer need. So those all go away. I'm going to pull out the lines from this box because I want the little one to be on top because it's more interesting in my opinion. Again, throw in any more sides that I'm missing. We're done, okay? So what you're going to do is you are going to practice this technique on your own on the other side of the paper so that you can practice doing it without me guiding you through it step by step. I can't wait to see what you do.